Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, karibu, karibu, karibu. My microphone is acting up as usual, so bear with me as I get it configured or configured. Karibu, 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 karibu. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades, come in. I'm giving you time to just clock in, settle down, before we get ready for the ride. It's going to be a short one, 1 hour max. Maybe we might go to overtime, but 1 hour max, or maybe less. It just depends. But a few things we need to touch on regarding what's happening out there. So, karibu sana. Before we get started, you know the deal. If this is your first time and you just got this recommendation and you're wondering what's going on, what this channel is about, it's about Kenyan politics or Kenyan politics, should I say. The going-ons in Kenyan, the zeitgeist in Kenya, as they say, as the Germans would tell you, basically just touching on what's going on and the state at which this great nation called Kenya is at, okay? So go ahead, subscribe if it's your first time you're seeing this. And if you're already subscribed, go ahead and like the video, share in your WhatsApp groups, and every kind of groups you're involved in, whether it's just social media or whichever. You know the drill, right? Let's get to it. Ruto and Raila lying through their teeth in New York. Apparently, Ruto and Raila are in these divided states of America. We saw the pictures yesterday. Hassan Joho, Makao Mutua, Ole, whatever. Not Ole Mama. What's his face? I forgot his name. That useless senator. He was trolling somewhere with Hassan Joho in New York, enjoying life. These are the parks. This is what they work for. This is why they sacrifice innocent lives, and this is why they rig elections so that they can have the perks of what comes with being a representative of a certain constituency or the state. That's why these people wanted to be CSS, because listen, our leaders are cheap. They are wanafurahia vitu vya ujinga, this is what they can't see the big picture. As long as they have money, a couple of millions of dollars or shillings or whatever the case in their offshore accounts and their accounts in Kenya, some fancy car from European nations, and a bunch of the poor folks who are ready to sycophants who are ready to clap for them whenever they show up in a public forum or meeting or whatever the case. This is their drug. This is what they like. Power, cheap power, and riches. They rather have that than see a nation that really prospers and benefits everyone who is willing to work hard. They're not interested in the collective good of the people of Kenya. They would rather have wealth concentrated on just a few. That way they can flaunt around and act like demigods and enjoy life. That's what they like. That's what they like. This is what makes them happy. You saw them cheesing it up, Raila Odinga and Hassan Joho and Ruto and Ole. I forgot his name. Somebody remind me. I forgot his name. And they were new and Musalia Mudavadi, cheesing it up, walking, strolling around New York street. This is what they want. This is what they want while the country is burning. We just saw the lecturers who planned to protest. What? Tear gas. These are lecturers. These are professors. These are people, academics. Okay, academicians, have they say, if I say it correctly. Okay, people who are teachers, provosts in the education sector, who should be treated with at least some level of respect, were tear gassed mercilessly by the semi-literate, if not downright illiterate, police officers who were conducting this violent act against them, okay? Dragging them on the streets as if they were a bunch of nobodies, just because the lecturers were protesting, and for a good cause, okay? And you'll hear Ruto lecturing us, so to speak, telling us how Kenya is a democracy. what kind of country do we live? Are we living in if no one can actually protest peaceably as it is enshrined in the Constitution? Then you'll hear them say that, oh, you can just, this is ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about. But you'll hear Ruto in New York somewhere telling us about planting trees and all this nonsense, while he probably, or his son, has a company that cuts off trees in the forest of Kenya. This is the kind of country we live in. So I'm not really disturbed or perturbed by the fact that these pinheads are strolling around New York on an autumn afternoon, enjoying the skyscrapers. I'm only disturbed because these guys, while they are enjoying life, puffing on cigars as Macau Mutua did, folks at home are living in squalid living conditions. People don't have enough money in their pockets to buy food. Food is becoming impossible. It's expensive to afford a meal. Okay, we are importing everything at exorbitant fee. Farmers, they're making it harder for farmers to actually sell their products. Plant organic food that can feed our children who are dying of hunger in Samburu and elsewhere. Okay, the money that they're given for the projects to develop these constituencies, the counties, are being used, looted, transferred to offshore accounts. Well, you see what Vinyandeta, who was said allegedly was trying to buy up an apartment complex in London. This is what happens in our country. Okay? But then you have these leaders go to New York and they start giving us speeches that don't make any sense to appease their imperial masters, or rather try to fool them. We know the truth and we are going to stand for the truth. So anyway, here we go. Let's get started with the first clip that I want to show you. It's Ruto's speech. It's kind of lengthy. I'm here for some time, but let's listen to this pinhead try to convince us the good job that he's doing in Kenya, while the majority of Kenyans actually want him out, and not right now, but they want him right now. Gone. Okay? So let's get to it. Ruto, what do you have to say for yourself? Let's listen in to his speech and see what he has to tell the world about his accomplishments or his goals regarding Kenya, the country, the state. Okay? Here it is.
System to tackle the rapidly evolving and increasingly complex global challenges. Today, that call is as urgent as it was then. The planet is heating up. Our climate is in crisis. Oceans are rising. Deserts are spreading, and conflict is engulfing the world. Millions are displaced, poor and without access to basic services. Unfortunately, our multilateral system has proven inadequate in addressing crises such as climate change, inequality, and debt. And it continues to falter in providing any, let alone timely solutions. Without immediate action, humanity will face an unprecedented global crisis. Today, we have no choice but to reject outdated systems and reimagine a framework of international cooperation that works for all 8 million of us in the planet. This means redesigning international financial system, strengthening partnership for common security, bridging the digital divide, and investing in human capacity, especially empowering women and youth. The window to achieve this is, however, fast closing. The Secretary General's 2024 SDG report paints a dire picture. Only 17% of SDG targets are on track, largely due to unmet financial commitments, and developing countries, particularly in Africa and the Global South, are facing severe funding shortages, and the gap is widening. At the 2023 UN SDG Summit, we highlighted the urgent need to overhaul the global financial system. As we approach the fourth Financing for Development Forum in 2025, imaginative solutions for debt relief and development financing are essential to close the SDG gap. We must address the historical injustice of Africa's lack of permanent representation on the UN Security Council as a matter of justice in the ongoing UN reforms. Additionally, region-led peace operations, sustainably funded by the UN-assessed contributions, are critical in addressing today's complex security challenges. In Kenya, we aim to increase forest cover by 30% by planting 15 billion trees, an effort largely led by our youth. 2 weeks ago, I launched Climate Works, a program to employ 200,000 young people in sustainable public works focused on ecological restoration and infrastructure. But we must recognize that the pace of technological advancement, particularly with AI, is widening the global digital divide. Africa holds critical resources for the tech revolution, yet receives disproportionately low benefits. A year ago, I stood here at this assembly to declare Kenya's commitment to contribute to an international security support mission to Haiti. Yesterday, I was in Port-au-Prince to witness the significant progress made by Kenya's Africa-led mission, even with the constraints of limited resources. What looked like mission impossible is now a present and real possibility for peace in Haiti. I hosted the inaugural Africa Climate Summit, whose seminal outcome, the Nairobi Declaration, formed the basis of a common African position in multilateral engagement at the COP and other fora. At the world's 21 IDA 21 Replacement Summit in Nairobi in April this year, the 17th AFDB replacement and IMF SDR rechanneling, we, together with African leaders, championed for significant enhancement of the concessional window of affordable financing available for developing countries to provide critical public services, undertake investment in economic transformation, and implement ambitious climate. On the basis of this progress, we have achieved under our current inadequate multilateral institutional framework. I am optimistic about what we can achieve under a radically reconfigured multilateral institutional framework. This is why reforms are an urgent necessity that we cannot delay. The Pact of the Future has been developed through intense negotiations, sustained discourse between members. I take this opportunity.
Okay, we are having some.
I thank the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so and you're just reading something else. Anyway, so that's what Ruto is. High, clean, black sneakers. Karibu sana. So that is Ruto giving you the speech. Of course, he's trying to give us the common Codswallop that he's spewing, trying to convince the world that he's actually, he's the harbinger of all these climate change concerns, and we should plant trees, and we are trying to create what do you call it, jobs for the youth and the women, and all this. All the global south needs a fair financial arrangement. We should restructure the global financial system. Oh, nonsense. Okay, a bunch of nonsense that nobody really cares about. Okay. Thank you for pushing the like button, Clean Black Sneakers. Karibu sana. Thank you very, very much. Okay, do the same, all of you who are just joining. But basically, that's the short speech by Ruto. He highlighted what's happening in Haiti, whatever you want to call it. As you know, there are Kenyan troops in Haiti who actually were sent there illegally. The Kenyan law does not allow our police forces to be sent to a foreign country unless there's a reciprocal law in place in Haiti. And that's something that is not the case in this. But, we know that, probably Meg Whitman, who is the de facto president of the Republic of Kenya, who referred to Kenya as a corporation, probably, nudged President Ruto and told him, hey, listen, go ahead and do the do. We'll give you some money. Don't worry about it. We'll make you rich. Go ahead and give that silly speech in UN. Tell the world that you are such a great leader. So, yeah. So Ruto gave that speech. It's kind of nonsensical. But anyway, other news. Let me just move away from Ruto for a second, but it's still related. There's this call, as you know, and I hate this story because it's a distraction, but it is a story nevertheless, and it's out there and people are buying into it. So let's just delve into it in this nonsense, okay? So there's a growing concern from some quarters, like I say, in this fabricated beef between Ruto and his deputy president, Gachagua. There are some people who are trying to so-called impeach Deputy Gachagua, which whatever. And Oscar Sudi came out. This is Ruto's right-hand man, tweeted and said this should not take more than, I think, before 2024, or he said 3 days, or before this week, somebody should move a motion to impeach the deputy president. So another dunderhead came out and, with a motion. I think it's two people. Was it two people or one person? What's that guy from who had a debate with Sifuna? What's his name? I forgot. Somebody remind me. He had a debate with Sifuna. I forgot. Tony Awiti, karibu sana. Tony Awiti is saying, woe unto those who believe the two conmen posing as leaders of our beloved country. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, so there's this Wamungata. Is it Wamungata? Mungatana. Yes, that's his name, Mungatana. Mungatana came out with a motion, so to speak, trying to. He's a senator. Danston Mungatana is trying to start, move a motion to impeach deputy president. But of course, there has to be a consensus within the Senate or the House in order for deputy president to be actually impeached. But hey, he's trying his best using his ill-informed knowledge or that he has or information to do so. So he had a statement that he came out with, a notice of motion, which, if you want to read it by its entirety, it's on Kalwale's page. Let's go to Kalwale's page and look at this motion that Mungatana wants to move forward with so that it can remove Gachagua. As you know, if you've been living under a rock, there's this whole fake beef that's about Ruto and Gachagua. Gachagua is, it's a bunch of nonsense. But let's just go. It's part of the nonsense that's going on in Kenya. But anyway, 5 hours ago, Boni Kalwale wrote, Senator Danson Mungatana, wachana na hii mambo ya censor motion, allow the National Assembly to exercise its mandate as stipulated under Article 150 of our Constitution. Read together with Articles 144 and Article 145. You are jumping the gun. So what is it talking about? Here is the statement, the notice of motion to actually start to get the ball rolling to remove the deputy president, Gachagua, whatever his name is. Gachagua has been in everywhere, Nyeri and all that stuff in Mulima. He's kind of this big pro-Mlima politicians. He's been talking about what Mlima. Of course. So he went there and, being anyway, he went there and started saying, people should not, the president should betray me by trying to remove me. And Oscar Sudi is playing his part in this fabricated beef by posting that, oh, within the next 3 days, the motion should be up there for the deputy to be renewed. So they're just fueling this thing. They're trying to make it an issue. And the media also, which is run and owned by the very people who want this agenda, this Ruto versus Gachagua fabricated nonsense to go on, are egging these two factions on, these two created factions on. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, Clean Black Sneak is saying, I'm learning a lot about Africa watching these channels. The understanding is coming along. I appreciate the search and time you take. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Africa is an interesting place. So here is what this Mungatana is writing. Here it is what is wrote. I'll read it very quickly. The Republic of Kenya, 13th Parliament, 3rd Session. The Senate Notice of Motion on the conduct of His Excellency, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Aware that Article 260 of the Constitution of Kenya categorizes the Deputy President as the state officer whose conduct and behavior shall abide by the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution of Kenya and the General Leadership and Integrity Code for State Officers contained in the Leadership and Integrity Act, okay? Further aware that, pursuant to Article 147 of the Constitution, the holder of the office of the Deputy President is the principal assistant to the President, making the office a symbol of national unity, whose holder must at all times respect, uphold, and safeguard the Constitution, promote and enhance the unity of the nation, and promote respect for the diversity of the people and communities of Kenya. Concerned that Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, on several occasions since his assumption of office of Deputy President, has made utterances, among others, regarding employment opportunities on Kenyans in the public service, allocation of resources to the devolved units, and incitement of the section of Kenyan to disobey lawful directives by some county governments, okay? Further concerns that the public utterances made by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of Kenya, have marginalized sections of Kenyans, created and continues to heighten tension among different ethnic communities in Kenya, portrays the conduct of Honorable Rigathi Gachagua as being in contravention of the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution, are against the national values and principles of governance espoused in Article 10(2) of the Constitution, and demean the high office of the Deputy President of the Republic. Now, therefore, the Senate, pursuant to Standing Order 10(1), expresses its displeasure and disappointment with the conduct of Honorable Rigathi Gachagua as the Deputy Republic of Kenya, censures him, and he signs Senator Danson Mungatana, MP, Senator of Tana River County. The letter is dated for September 23, 2024. Okay? So, So Tony Owiti is saying, Gachagua and Ruto, waende wote, all of them. Absolutely, I agree with you. So here is this guy is trying to create, he's trying to get the ball rolling in this process of removing Gachagua. Is he going to succeed? Probably not, because there has to be let me just read Duale, what Duale wrote. What is Duale's first name? Aden Duale. Okay. Aden Duale responded to this and said this. Let's go on. Let's keep on very quickly. Here it is. He's responding to this. Guys, can you see? Hopefully you can see, okay? You can read it? All right, let me just read it. Mungatana just responded to this censure motion by Mungatana, saying, Honorable Mungatana, censure motion is not constitutional, but a debate. Yeah, that's the first correction. A censure motion is basically a motion intended to state that we are not happy with you, or a critic or expression of disapproval of one's conduct. It is no consequence whatsoever, or rather, it's not consequential, okay? A censure motion against the conduct of a deputy president is not provided for anywhere in the Constitution, or indeed the standing orders of the National Assembly or the Senate. However, the rules of debate of both houses prohibit discussing the conduct of any state officers whose removal is dependent on the National Assembly or Senate, except on a substantial motion. Okay, substantive motion. Okay, what is the end game? Since a censure motion or even a substantive motion under the standing orders will not have any legal effect in terms of removal, should the objective to be remove a state officer where there are grounds, the Constitution already provides elaborate provisions for removal. We are not happy with your conduct censure motion, or a substantive motion cannot serve the purpose of impeachment. A substantive motion cannot be used where there are defined constitutional grounds for removal. Okay? The censure motion raises question of contravention of the Articles 10 and 75 of the Constitution, which cannot be used in expression of disapproval of conduct motion, or indeed a substantive motion, whichever is the case. Him. That is what Aden Duale is saying. Shaba Sabanaba. Karibu sana Gypsy Corner. I see you in the comment section. I'm sweating here like a pastor who needs sadaka. Like this video as we warm up. We are just warming up. Ingieni hapa. We are warming up. Nimekasirika. Nimefanya nini? Nimekasirika. So Mungatana is operating in what? From a place of ignorance. Do you know what that's called? From a place of ignorance. Do you know what that's called? He's arguing from a point of ignorance. Thank you, Gypsy Corner has liked the video. Please do the same, people. Get in here and like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Because we are getting started. We are warming up. Sijaanza kupika. Bado naeka ni maji ya ugali na chemka. Okay? So we are getting started. Let's get started. The motion, the censure motion, as Aden Duale, he's a lawyer, I believe, by profession, corrected Mungatana. Mungatana, we know, is brainless. We saw his debate against Sifuna. He embarrassed himself in public, TV, national TV. So he reminds Mungatana, the Tana River MP, that a censure motion is just about highlights that the Senate or the House is not happy with the public's conduct, a public officer's conduct, and reminds him that there are defined grounds under our Constitution in which you can use to impeach Rigathi Gachagua if that was the case. I think, please don't waste your dollars going to see bloody Ruto. I don't want to see him by any means. Now, there are some people, I don't know why people are pivoting from the goal that was the original goal of Ruto must go. All of a sudden, no one is talking about Ruto must go. Do we need a revolution? Do we need a revolution? The only realistic way that we can remove Ruto, and I've been singing here, is to actually have a popular revolution, unless the military decide to do what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. So do we need a revolution? Do we need a revolution? Let's see. Miguna wants to tell us something. Let's go to his tweet. Tusome harakaraka, tukiendanga. Like the video, subscribe, share, like, comment, and all do that. This is what Miguna is saying in his tweet, last tweet that he produced, he gave us. History does not lie. Education series for Gen Zote and why transforming Kenya must adopt the well-established path. Hashtag the revolutionary process. Hashtag Ruto must go. Hashtag revolution now. I shall read you this before we get to other stuff. Munanisikia. Subscribe, like, share, comment as we come. Get on with this. I hope you can see the screen. Why we need a revolution to remove William Samoei Ruto. And when I say William Samoei Ruto, it's not just him, the person, it's him and the entire executive branch of Kenya. Ruto, Gachagua, Mbadi, Raila, Musalia Mudavadi, all this nonsense. Why revolution is the only option? Look at what we are about to read. Why revolution is necessary. Okay? When revolution, popular revolution, peaceful protest, or armed struggle are only solution when all systems have failed and the rule of law is suspended, ineffective, or both, when change can be brought about through participating in the political and electoral processes, when the systems work and the rule of law is functioning, effective, and upheld. One, the case of Kenya, revolution is the only solution when all systems fail or are made ineffective. The first bullet point, the president have subverted the constitution and transformed himself into a monarch, made himself imperial, and converted all public institutions as extension of his office. Second bullet, the presidency has been personalized by William Ruto. The next one, Parliament, which is National Assembly and Senate, have been captured. Legislators have become tenderpreneurs and CDF thieves. Next one, the opposition minority party has been compromised and rendered useless. Next one, multi-party politics have been rendered ineffective through bribery, coercion, and violence. Next one, the independence of the judiciary has been subverted, e.g. the Gilbert Mangeli case. The next one, independent constitutional bodies such as the Directorate of Public Prosecution, EACC, IEBC, National Police Service, etc. have been weaponized and transformed into extension of the presidency. Next one, anti-corruption system only works to perpetuate impunity. Next one, police oversight authority has been neutered. Next one, the national security infrastructure, NIS, military intelligence, and DCI have been infiltrated and are currently controlled by criminal gangs, militia, and death squads. Next one, public debt has become a conduit for plunder, economic sabotage, and organized crime. Next one, court orders are defied and the constitution defiled. Number two, when the system have failed, the following have been the solution globally. The first one, let's say, French Revolution through popular uprising in 1799. Shall we go on? Shall we go on? We shall go on. Go on, shall we? Okay, let's do it. We are here. Are you here? Are you here, ladies and gentlemen? Are you here? I hope you can read it with me. I will keep on reading with you. I'm almost done. Don't worry about it. Relax. We're here. 20. Okay. We gave you the French Revolution in 1799. Let's go to the next one. An example of how people rose up once the system had failed. Okay. It was apparent that the system had failed. The French ignored the ineffective political means and used revolutionary means. The results were liberty, restoration of sovereignty of the people, free education from primary school to university, free public health care, and above all, high quality lifestyle, much better than before. Chinese Revolution through armed struggle in 1949 ignored the useless political electoral means and adopted the revolutionary means. The results were liberty from servitude, restoration of sovereignty of the people, free education from primary school to university, free public health care, prosperity, and above average lifestyle. Cuban Revolution through armed struggle 1959 led by Fidel Castro. The Cubans ignored the useless political electoral means and used the revolutionary means. The results are liberty from Spanish slavery, restoration of sovereignty of the people, free education from primary school to university, free housing, free public health care, and high quality lifestyle, save for the American embargo. Burkina Faso Revolution under Thomas Sankara in 1983. Ignored the useless political electoral means and adopted the revolutionary means. The results were liberty, restoration of sovereignty and dignity of the people, respect of the Burkinabe by the whole world, free education from primary school to university, food security, significant reduction of child mortality rate, free public health care, and high quality life. Bangladesh Revolution through popular uprising, the protest in 2024, few months ago, ignored the useless political electoral means and used mass protest in the capital city. The results so far are liberty, empowerment, dignity of the people, and end to abductions, torture, political assassination of the regime's opponents, and the popular process of transforming countries' political governance, judicial, economic, and moral systems, and more. Equity and improvement in the quality of life for the people. What is Miguna saying? He's saying something that we've discussed here for more than 1,000 times. If the system that we have, I'm saying the system is not the problem. Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully, because I hear a lot of people say that the system is the problem. We have a system that is designed to have checks and balances. The Constitution is very well defines the powers, how this sovereign power that the people have delegated to these independent institutions and the three arms of government. The problem is the people who were elected, who we delegated this power to, have grossly violated the Constitution and personalized the power that we gave them. And they're using it to enrich themselves and kill dissenting voices and loot, perpetuate a culture of impunity, crime, corruption, abductions, torture, name it. So we have a rotten system. The original one is good, but they have a rotten people who have personalized this power and weaponized these institutions to destroy dissent. That's why I keep on telling people, do not waste time thinking that you are going to vote Ruto out in 2027. You are in for a rude shock. He's going to rig, and if you stand up and say anything, he will shoot you or abduct you. He has shown it already. So there are two only realistic ways of clearing up the system: a popular uprising, peaceful demonstrations like the one in Bangladesh in 2024, or we are going to have an armed struggle to remove Ruto forcefully. Those are the two realistic ways you can remove Ruto and his cohorts, the Gachagua, and all these useless people like Raila Odinga and Musalia Mudavadi and the Kalonzo Musyoka and all of them. Other than that, you're not going to remove him. So you have a choice as a people of Kenya. Organize, agonize, protest, get the military on your side, and remove Ruto. Forcefully tell him you are done. You have no power anymore. And all the members of parliament and the legislative body. That's the only way. Hii mambo yote ingine ni mchezo wa town. Oh, let's remove Gachagua. Oh, Gachagua mimi ni mtu wa mlima, mimi sijui mtu wa mlima, mimi ni mtu wa sijui Nyanza, mimi ni mtu wa sijui nini. Games. Pitting one community against the other. Because that's why they want it like that. You know why? Let me tell you why. I'll break it down easily for you people who are slow to get it. The more Gachagua gets more attention, there are some people who are going to gravitate towards Gachagua, thinking Gachagua naonewa is being mistreated. But the goal is to remove the watu wa mlima, ostracize them. So waanze ku be at odds with other Kenyans community, maybe Wakalenjin. And what will happen is this: these leaders that are so-called ostracized, the Gachagua, he'll try to team up with somebody like Kalonzo so that he can take the Kamba community, okay? And also go to another person, go to Matiangi, and then have the Kisii community. And before you know it, you have communities in Kenya who are divided among political lines, so they cannot gather around as Kenyans and remove Ruto. Because the Gen Zs, they were tribeless, leaderless, political partyless. So when they stood up as one as Kenyans, they scared Ruto shitless to death. Because they stood up as Kenyans. And Ruto got scared because Wakenya waliungana kama Wakenya. They were not divided along tribal lines. He tried to ridicule them, calling them people who are kwenda sijui nini, and he did not succeed. So now he's going to use communities. Mtu wetu, watu wa mlima. That's why you see Gachagua is working so hard to paint himself as the king of mlima. Oh, Marahuru is the leader, so that they can be ostracized from the rest of the country. Then once that happens, they shall also find other community chieftains like Kalonzo Musyoka, who is perceived the leaders of Kambas. Go get Matiangi as the perceived leader of the Kisii. The aim is to get these communities, Kenyan communities, ethnic groups, to divide themselves along tribal lines. And when that happens, you cannot have a successful popular revolution to remove Ruto. Because Ruto represents the political class, the criminal, corrupt political class of Kenya. So they're not interested in seeing Ruto fall. That's why Raila ran and joined forces and unleashed his deadly Azimio thugs to go violate those children, the Gen Z, as they were protesting. Because he understood if Ruto falls, guess who's next? We are going to open the books. And Raila, Ruto, Kenyatta, all these useless people shall be brought to account and pay for the money that they've stolen, pay for the people they killed, pay pay for the corrupt deals they've done, pay for the money that they're stashing overseas. That is why they're scared. They want Ruto to maintain power, but they're pretending to be against each other by using Gachagua. And Gachagua playing his part as the proponent of this tribalist politics. You have to open your eyes. And you can see, because these Kenyan media groups are owned and operated by the same folks. That's why they're pushing it. A barrage of this message is coming to you every time you open Citizen, every time you open KTN, KBC, all this. They're just talking about Gachagua, 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 watu wa mlima, Gachagua, Gachagua, president, Gachagua, 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 impeachment, Gachagua, Gachagua. It's called television programming. They're programming your mind to accept this tribalist arrangement, so you can move away from thinking about being a one Kenya that is united against Ruto and this rotten political class of Kenya. That's the aim. Forget about this useless Morara. Forget about Kasmuel and all these useless fake revolutionaries. Who are the real revolutionaries? Any real revolutionary will want a Kenya to remove Ruto right now. Fuck civil education. I don't want to hear about this nonsense. Ruto must go now. Keep on singing about Gachagua, Gachietha, Raila, Conman, all these fake people, Museveni, Mudavadi, Morara, Kasmuel, Hanifa. Go look at them. Who among them is talking about a revolution, removing Ruto right now? Who is organizing people to remove Ruto right now? Who among them? None of them. Morara, thank you for exposing corruption. It's not like we didn't know about it. You have to organize. Ruto is the face of everything that's wrong with Kenya. So we have to remove him along with everybody and everyone who occupies that legislative body. Don't tell me about Mercy Tarus. Don't tell me about that. Who cares? Don't tell me about that. Please. Don't waste my time about Gachagua. Gachagua should be in committee along with Ruto and Raila and Martha Karua and Kalonzo. Thank you very much, Kevin Obura. I see you. DJ Moda, Jojo Pio. The only thing Kenya should rally around is not impeachment of anyone, but the removal, the total overhaul of the executive branch and the legislative branch. Ruto, Gachagua, Gachagua, and the rest of them to go home, rendered useless. We don't recognize Ruto as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Tusicheze mchezo wa town ati sijui Gachagua is attacking sijui Sifuna, sijui Gachagua is attacking that Nairobi governor. Sijui hii mchezo anacheza cheza hii mchezo na vitandawili. Tega Ayatollah conman of Opoda, Tiringenya Agwambo, Kidi Kibudi. Nonsense. This is just to divide people. They understand. The day, if you didn't understand it, let me break. The day that Raila Odinga joined Ruto, when Ruto was almost being removed, it showed you clearly that these people are in one group. They're scared of Kenyans uniting. That's why you see on the Raila side, they were using people like Kaloma and Robert Alai to perpetuate this fake thing that now Luos have joined with Kalenjins. These Nilots are together against the Kikuyus. Oh, there's no Luo who has been in treasury. That is their aim. Because if the Luos come together with Kikuyus and Kalenjin and all the 50-something tribes that we have in Kenya and say we are removing Ruto, Ruto will be removed with no problem. And Raila knows when Ruto is removed, he will be next. Kono Opoda will also go to jail. Uhuru Kenyatta and his family also know they'll go to jail. Kalonzo will have no job. He will also go to jail. Martha Karua will also go to jail. They will all go to jail. So they'd rather meet up and play these games of divide and conquer. Because they're all under siege if Kenyans come as one. That's why they want to play around with this Gachagua thing. Oh, let's impeach him. Let's impeach him. Watu wa mlima, watu wa mlima, watu wa mlima. Sijui watu wa mlima, sijui watu wa sijui nini. That is the game. That is the game. That is the game. And you're falling for it. You're falling for their trick. Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila are in one club. They're in one club. Look at them in New York. Cheesing it up. Enjoying your taxpayers' money. That is what they enjoy. While you live in squalid living conditions. A lecturer was being beaten by a police like a burukenge. Somebody who's a lecturer, a respected provost of the university, tear gassed like a wild animal. Raila and Ruto are in private jet in New York, laughing, enjoying life. You're buying into these people, this con man. Then you have this idiot coming up here telling you, sijui chukua sijui nini, 227 20 tukapige vote in 2027. While they control the IBC. You think your vote will count? You think your vote will count? Are you serious? You think your vote what will count in 2027? Don't be stupid. Ruto is telling us that he's creating jobs today in UN, while Macau Mutua is telling he wants to transport people, 20,000 people to go to Saudi Arabia. In fact, he says per week. He even says that wanajenga sijui manyumba za Waarabu huko Mombasa, so to put you there so you can start being ready for the Arabian lifestyle. While Ruto was in UN telling us that he's creating jobs for wanawake na nisijui nini, the nonsense, the lies that he's telling. Modern day slave trade. Modern day slave trade. Now that they know that you want to come together and remove him, they want to use Gachagua to play the tribal card. I'm going to stop here, because the more I think about it, the more angry I get. The more I think about it, the more angry I get. Any leader, anybody who comes out and does not want Ruto to go get out, to be removed right now, is a con man. Don't tell us about civic education. Don't tell us about civic education. We don't care about your sales. You Kenya ni home. So you Kenya ni wapi. Kenya ni cheta. The only thing that you should be spitting right now is Ruto must be removed immediately. I'm going to stop here. We have to have a serious maandamano. I see Brother Benson on the comment section. Nice seeing you, Brother Benson. Please go subscribe to his channel. He has a wonderful channel with Marco Bura and others. Clean Black DJ Moda, I'm about to finish. I've already you will impeach me. I've already been impeached. That's why I'm so bitter. Look at Osoro. Osoro was on, I don't know what. Look at Osoro. I'll let you see for yourself.
Was nobody. We want our airport back. You people are bureaucrats. You want to sell this nation. You want to put it under wrong hands. We don't want it. That's what we don't want. You want to protect our country. Hatusikilizi wezi. Tunataka country yetu back. We can raise the money to renovate our airport.
Uni nani tulipandisha? We Peter, naomba ujibiwe na Honorable Mwita. Honorable Mwita mjibu.
Hii ni ukora mnafanya. Na ndio inatufanya tusikie hasira.
Kama unahitaji kutusikiza ushuke, lakini kama umeuliza swali unahitaji kujibiwa.
Usiniambie kitu as much as my vote was used to place you where you are.
Don't tell me that. Usikiza kitu ambacho nataka kukujibu.
Wewe unataka kunijibu na siwe nimekuuliza Osoro mbona anatudanganya? Wewe tulia. Osoro namuuliza saa 6 usiku halali atudanganye. We are not buying that idea.
Usikize. Punguza kelele usikize. Umeuliza swali, unahitaji majibu. Si ni kweli?
Huyu jamaa nafikiria hapa ni pale mahali penye anaombanga gifts. Hapa si mahali pa kuombanga gifts.
Mheshimiwa.
Enda nganga ndio mahali pa kuombanga gifts.
Mheshimiwa, unajua kuna kitu moja hapa. Hii ni investment. Na investment ni mtu anatoa pesa yake kuinvest. Na hakuna
Let me fix myself. You see, that is Osoro having fun. He's a representative. This is mchezo wa town wa Didmas Mbaraza. Listen to him playing along with that Gachagua nonsense.
Amesema sisi wabunge tumenunuliwa, ajitupeleka yeye nyumbani. Hakuna mjumbe ambaye amenunuliwa. Parliament of Kenya, the National Assembly, tumepata ujasiri kutoka kwa vijana wetu wadogo wale wa Gen Z, vile walikuja wakaingia bunge la kitaifa. Sisi pia bunge la kitaifa tumeamua, tunakuwa huru, tumeamua kutetea demokrasia ya Kenya, tumeamua kupigana na maneno ya ukabila Kenya hii, na tumesema kabla mwaka huu ikwishe, Rigathi Gachagua, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, atakula Christmas akiwa raia wa kawaida, ndio aendelee na maneno yake ya ukabila huko kwa kijiji yake huko. Mimi nimechukua leave kutoka bunge la kitaifa.
Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe, share, like, comment. I will come back later tonight, midnight Kenya time, 12:30 midnight time, Kenyan time, for another session. I'll see you then. Peace.